In our number 10 spot, we have the table throwing demon. Okay, here's some crazy footage for you of a possible real life demon. I mean, heck, the Bible has warned us that demons are tricky and they play with us and influence us and make us feel fear. Well, that is seemingly exactly what happens in the video I'm about to show you. Here we have a woman who is sitting in what looks like a banquet hall, and she's on her cell phone when she hears a chair move. She turns around and sees nothing, but then the chair beside her moves and she freaks out and falls on the floor. Then a bunch of chairs and tables begin to move and you see her get so frightened that she tries to stand up and then she falls on the floor again. She could have fainted too, it's kind of unclear. The footage is so wild and it's so clear that this woman isn't an actress and that this isn't edited footage. It's too natural, and I mean, if she is, then man, she deserves an Oscar. If you're liking this video, don't forget to give it a like, as it will really help us out. In our number 9 spot, we have Satan. Well, duh, if there was going to be one demon on this list that we all know about, obviously it was going to be Satan himself. Satan was once a guardian cherub, but God found wickedness within him, or so is said in Ezekiel 28:12-15. Luke has also mentioned that Jesus saw Satan fall from heaven like a lightning bolt, and that is how he gained the name of fallen angel. Something that I didn't know until this video though is that apparently Satan does not rule over hell, but is punished and just imprisoned with the other souls in hell. That's interesting. From my understanding, Satan is the king and creator of demons, and these demons have influence and infiltrate society and cause sadness and havoc. So basically we're living amongst many demons these days. Everywhere you look, everything you hear or read, there's some kind of messaging that hits an emotional chord that makes you feel understood. But then you'll hear something else that is a conflicting perspective, and you also feel understood from that. And the result is that you're left confused and you feel pulled in many directions, and you will feel vulnerable, and that's when it will be easy to control you. Beware of the influential demons like Satan. In our number 8 spot, we have the shapeshifters. Guys, I'm a little shocked that the Bible subtly points to shapeshifters. I guess I just assumed that this was a modern day conspiracy theory fueled by the Marvel movies, but no, there is evidence to suggest that shapeshifters have been around and spoken about since before the Bible. Mark said, after these things he appeared in another form to 2 of them as they were walking into the country. He appeared in another form to 2 of them as they were walking into the country. That's it, they exist. I'm a believer. Also, what's the consensus? Should we just now conclude that Obama's security guard is indeed a shapeshifter? I feel like yes. Who's a believer? Let me know in the comment section below. In our number 7 spot, we have the chair moving demon. Okay, this could be just a ghost or a demon. I mean, who knows? In this clip, you see a girl in perhaps a classroom or a common area, as there are computers and lounge chairs, and she seems to be looking at something when suddenly she runs out of the room. Then a few moments later, you see the lounge chair move and the door close. The ghost/demon is having a meeting, so he wanted his privacy, guys. The devil requires privacy. Okay, but seriously, what is this? How is this footage not more mainstream? I'm scared. I hope somebody called a priest after witnessing this footage. This place definitely needs to be cleansed. In fact, we should get the priests of the world to just cleanse the world. We may just need a general world cleansing, because clearly the demons are among us, judging by this video. I'm scared. I want my mom. In our number 6 spot, we have the reptile people. Okay guys, we know that there are many references to reptiles in the Bible. I mean, if you don't, then I'm here to tell you that indeed there are. In fact, the Bible starts with Adam and Eve is persuaded by the snake to eat the forbidden fruit. So the stories really begin right away. But there have been evidence of people believing in the reptile people for many centuries, even dating back to ancient Mesopotamia, where they created an artifact called the Ubaid lizard man, which has made people believe that it is possible that they worshipped lizard people, the reptiles. In Revelation 12:9, it is said, quote, "And the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent, who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him." The serpent was thrown down to earth, eh? Sounds a lot like a reptile person confirmation to me. Now, whether or not they are demons, that is the question. There have been way too many reptile Hollywood sightings to count, so beware, folks. In our number 5 spot, we have the lawless one. In the Bible, 2 Thessalonians 2:9, I might have pronounced that wrong, sorry, it's been a while since I've been to church. Thessalonians 2:9, we are warned about the lawless one who is doing the work of Satan, aka a demon. The coming of the lawless one is by the activity of Satan with all power and false signs and wonders. Who exactly this message is referring to? I mean, it could be any number of people in history that promised wonders and things that they could not keep. Historical political leaders that may have tricked the masses. I mean, there have been many, from Genghis Khan to presidents in this day and age. So who's to say who this verse is speaking about, but perhaps at this point this benevolent demon has reincarnated many times over, considering the Bible stories are from thousands of years ago. In our number 4 spot, we have the man that couldn't speak. Demons are spoken about so much in the Bible, and on many accounts, stories are told where it is believed that people have come across these demons. Mark speaks about a demon that made someone's son unable to speak. This demon caused its victim to have epileptic-like seizures, in which he was at times thrown down to wallow on the ground and made to foam at the mouth. No one was able to get rid of this demon but Jesus, after saying to the spirit, "Deaf and dumb spirit, I command you, come out of him and enter him no more." This has led a lot of people over the thousands of years to believe that mental illness is really just demonic possession. Obviously, we know better now about what mental illness is, but you may be surprised to hear that there are still a lot of people that believe that multiple personality disorder is demonic possession. In our number 3 spot, we have the parking lot demon. Years ago, a news station in Serbia called Channel 4 reported the wildest story. Apparently, a woman was in a parking lot when suddenly something invisible started chasing her, and whatever it was jumped from one lamp post to the other. She was so frightened that she went to the police to report that a maniac was chasing her. The police took a look at the footage and couldn't believe what they saw. It looked to be a transparent human running back and forth. Some believe it to be someone from another universe glitching into ours, but the woman swears that it was chasing her, so some believe that it was a demon. It's so crazy to see, and I read that the Bible warned us about a spirit called Abaddon, whom is the leader of the demons, and honestly, this could very well be proof of one of the Abaddon demons, as this woman was definitely terrorized by something. In our number 2 spot, we have the demon selfie. This is a picture of a demon and a boy, and it's crazy to see. This pic isn't even blurry, so that makes it more horrifying. Basically, a mom from Pennsylvania named Heather was taking a picture of her son. When she looked at the photo, she saw a mysterious person with black eyes creeping out from behind him. She said that there was no one in sight when she was taking her photo but her son. So that is ridiculously insane. This looks like a demon porcelain doll, in my opinion. Oh my gosh, that is just the most terrifying. Imagine if she was home alone with her son. I truly hope not. I would never ever want to be home alone again if this happened to me. In our number 1 spot, we have the Brazilian Demon Man. Yo, this has to be the scariest thing I've ever seen. Okay, maybe not, but it is still terrifying to think that multiple people witnessed this. Okay, so in 2015, many reports were being filed about a strange demon-like wolf man in Brazil. It started popping up everywhere, and then someone managed to review street footage and got it captured in a still shot. Here we have a man who looks like he's part wolf or straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster, to be honest. He has long pointy ears and strange wolf-like legs and appears to have a small tail. The shot is blurry as it's night and pitch black, but if this isn't a demon, then I don't know what is. This is definitely one of the demons that the Bible warned us about. Hey Brazilians, beware.
At number 10, we have Belfagor. If you ever felt lazy, like you just want to roll around on the ground instead of working, if so, you should probably talk to someone about that and not blame an evil demon called Belfagor. But this dude is one of the main henchmen of the evil sin Sloth. You know Sloth, just laying around all day, watching the worst commercials in between episodes of Maury and Judge Judy. Trash TV really is the best. Sloth will send this dude out to make sure you never get up from the couch and become a blob that should be cranked out of their home on some sort of crane or something like that. Also, something Belfagor will do will tempt you with getting rich. The temptation of money with no work. Oh my god, this guy invented the original pyramid scheme. Like all those ads you see where guys like, you want to make money? You want to make $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, all right from home? This guy did the first one of those. At number 9 we have the Leviathan. This is probably one of the most famous beasts in the Bible. This guy is a massive sea snake and it roams the seas, making it super hard for boats to get around. It can swallow them up in just one bite. Sorry, those headphones you ordered from China, they aren't gonna make it because some big old water snake ate them and now you're gonna have to listen to music on the subway from the speakers like some sort of psychopath. Side note, when we see people doing that on the subway, we should just all blast music from our phones at them so it drowns out that annoying person. Jesus, who does that? What kind of weirdo does those things? Anyways, back to the monster. It's said that it has multiple heads, skin so thick that no weapon can pierce it, and a heart made of a material harder than stone. It's safe to say that this thing is hard to kill. Some saints have said that the Leviathan is a demon attached to the deadly sin envy. I don't know what this creature has to be envious about. Maybe deep down inside he just wants to be a dude that just has 2 legs and walks around. He's like Little Mermaid syndrome. At number 8 we have Nephilim. Now there are 2 popular interpretations of these demons and I'm going to give you both of them and then you can fight in the comments over which one is right so I can get a little entertainment. Now one of the translations of Nephilim is fall, suggesting that it could mean fallen angels for those who made it up to heaven or who God created and then they fell to earth because they were being bad, which I didn't even know was a thing. I thought once you made it to heaven you were scot-free. Like you have to keep being good once you're there. When do you get to start being bad? This is such a raw deal. You're better off just trying your luck in hell. At least you could be yourself there. The other interpretation of Nephilim is giants, suggesting that there might have been giants walking the earth eating people. Either way, you do not want to run into these dudes. At number 7 we have the Noonday Demon. This is more of a metaphor than a demon, but in some cases it has been personified as an actual being. Basically the Noonday Demon is a creature that will come in at midday and try to distract you from all the stuff you want to do, like, ooh, look at my hands. Really this is just how people feel after lunch. Back in the day when the Bible was written, noon was the hottest time of day. You wouldn't want to work, you would just want to lay around and have a nice little siesta. There's nothing wrong with that. Taking a little snooze and then getting up later when it's cooler and then getting back to work. I don't know if the Noonday Demon is a bad guy or an innovator. At number 6 we have Adramelech. Okay, hell seems pretty bad, but it seems like you might be able to get an amazing job down there. Like Adramelech. He is the Chancellor of Hell, and I have no idea what that means, but it sounds really cool. Like if a guy handed me a business card with Chancellor of Hell on it, I would think he's like does cool business stuff. His body is apparently the face of a mule, and he has the tail of a peacock and the body of a human, which means he has amazing abs. And if that wasn't enough for you guys, he's also in charge of picking the devil's clothes. This guy has the best fashion sense in all of hell. Like think about all the people who are in hell. There are billions. And this dude knows fashion better than any of them. I know he's an evil demon, but I would want him to at least pick out one outfit for me. Just one, so I could look fire for an event. Like go to the Met Gala or something. Be like, dude, just one. I'll sell my soul, I swear to God. At number 5 we have succubuses. Succubi? Probably the sexiest of the demons. Succubus has one goal and one goal only. She wants to get in your pants and play with your ding dong and then suck out your life force. Sounds like a fun way to die, but I promise you it's super spooky and you won't like it. A succubus feeds off your energy and will slowly make you sick, deteriorate your mental health, and eventually lead you to death. Really, this just sounds like regular dating. It's so close to regular dating that I've made a list of pointers for you to know if you're dating a succubus or a real person. Starting off, does the person have hooves instead of feet? When they blink, do their eyelids move sideways? Do they have sharp claws or teeth? And most importantly, when you hang out with them, do you feel emotionally drained and then need a nap? If she checks off all these marks, well then she's a nice lady and you should keep seeing her. At number 4 we have Gello. Are you excited about having a baby? Have you picked out the crib, the clothes, and the name, and all you need is to find the man now? Well, you better hope that Gello doesn't get her grubby little hands on your baby because she's got something against people having a happy family. Gello is a demon that is only focused on one thing, to make it impossible for you to have kids. That's kind of messed up, dude. I think even the pyramid scheme demon is like, dude, chill, that's overkill, my god. Anyone who Gello preys on can experience something that will stop them from having children. Something like their reproductive organs being damaged. Sometimes if you already are pregnant, she will attack the fetus, causing a miscarriage. And once a baby is born, it's still not safe. While that little bundle of joy is still in baby form, she could still kill it. On the bright side, adoption's an option, I guess? Oof, I don't know, this one seems creepy. At number 3 we have Telemachus. This dude is a Banff. He's basically Santa Claus, but he finds everyone on the naughty list and then tortures them for as long as he wants. Some people think that this dude is actually the devil himself, while other people think he's just the embodiment of horror. Basically, if you do anything against God, like have an abortion and then have sex with a bunch of people, this dude pops up and will just start to ruin your day. So just be good in the eyes of God, or don't. I make top 10 lists. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. At number 2, we have the Demogorgon. This name has been popularized thanks to the hit Netflix series Stranger Things.
It's not like it was before. It's grown a lot. And I mean, that's considering we can get in there. The place is crawling with those dogs.
And to be honest, how this thing is represented in the Bible isn't too different from how this thing is in the show. It is the Lord of the Underworld. But in the Bible version, it is much more powerful. He has dominion over fate in hell. What does that mean exactly? Well, he's basically the regional manager of hell. Like once a year, he holds a big meeting where all the lesser demons come in and he lets them know what the goals are for the year. Like spread hate, possess people, torment children, kill the Pope. Let's get on that one, guys. We're really short on that one. And once he's given out all his orders, they fly out and make the world a more hellish place. This guy makes 7 figures for sure. And for the number 1 spot, we have Baphomet, probably one of the most controversial demons in recent years. He has become the poster boy for religious equality in America. He's got a human body, a goat head, and some massive wings. And honestly, he's pretty ripped. This guy works out for sure. Also, Baphomet can be whatever gender you want. Sometimes Baphomet is depicted as a man, while other times a lady, and sometimes cross in between. He represents all satanic values, the ability to indulge in all the 7 deadly sins, to truly enjoy life without abstaining from anything, and the freedom to wear as much black lipstick as you want. Some people think that he is worshipped by secret groups of the elite like the Freemasons and the Illuminati. They love the devil god because they believe he has chosen them to indulge in all the bodily pleasures above everyone else. A great story about Baphomet is how the Church of Satanism wanted to erect a statue of him in the Oklahoma State Capitol because the Capitol erected monuments of the 10 Commandments. That is religious equality.
Number 10, the first beast. Let's open up the first point of this list with, of course, the first beast. The first beast is one of 2 creatures that are described in the book of Revelation, saying to appear one after the other. So let's go over how this beast is explained in the book. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. So yeah, pretty damn crazy. Each head is supposed to represent a king, hence the crowns, thought to maybe be a representation of Roman emperors. And the first beast was said to be a king itself, but it was cast into perdition before it ever had a chance to rule. Number 9, the second beast. Now second on this list, we're obviously going to move on to the second beast, which arrives after the first, of course. This one doesn't get a description as long and detailed as the first, but is described as follows. Then I saw another beast rising out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, and it spoke like a dragon. It's also said to have incredible powers, and it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to the earth in full view of the people. It's most known, however, for its creation of the mark of the beast. This is a sign that is used to identify people who follow the beast of the sea, usually seen as the Antichrist. So the second beast would mark humans with this symbol and direct them to follow after the first beast, and for this it is also described as being the false prophet, the 2 said to have been sent by Satan to take control and deceive people. Number 8, pit locusts. This next creature is not one single creature, but is instead a terrifying prediction for those of us who aren't fans of creepy crawlies. The Bible describes 10 different plagues, one of these being 5 months of torment caused by pit locusts. And here's how the Bible describes them. Then from the smoke came locusts on the earth, and they were given power like the power of scorpions of the earth. They were allowed to torment them for 5 months, but not to kill them, and their torment was like the torment of a scorpion when it stings someone. In appearance, the locusts were like horses prepared for battle. On their heads were what looked like crowns of gold. Their faces were like human faces. Definitely not something you would want to run into while out on a hike. The scariest part of this is that it's actually pretty likely to happen. In 2016, enough locusts to cover 270,000 square miles invaded Russia. Number 7, cherubim. The cherub that you're probably imagining is likely a fat little baby spitting water water into a fountain. But cherubs in the Bible were actually pretty different, being described as otherworldly beings with 4 faces that emerge from smoke and fire. Here's a snippet of how they are explained in Ezekiel. They had a human likeness, but each had 4 faces, and each of them had 4 wings. Their legs were straight, and the soles of their feet were like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like burnished bronze. Under their wings on their 4 sides they had human hands, and the 4 had their faces and their wings thus. Their wings touched one another. Each of them went straight forward without turning as they went. They appear in the Bible over 90 times and are said to be God's throne bearers and his attendants, representing God's spirit on earth and symbolizing his worship. Number 6. Behemoth. According to the book of Job, sometimes referred to as simply Job, the behemoth was God's first ever creation. Supposedly a giant creature with tremendous power, it's described as follows. Behold Behemoth, which I made as I made you. He eats grass like an ox. Behold his strength in his loins and his power in the muscles of his belly. He makes his tail stiff like a cedar. The sinews of his thighs are knit together. His bones are tubes of bronze, his limbs like bars of iron. It is said to be a primeval monster of chaos being defeated by Yahweh at the beginning of the process of creation, and according to a later Jewish tradition, it was said that the behemoth would become food for the righteous at the end time. Some historians believe that the behemoth may have been an early exaggerated description of an elephant or hippopotamus. Number 5. Leviathan. No, it's not just a roller coaster at Canada's Wonderland. The Leviathan is a creature that goes hand in hand with the behemoth. The Leviathan was a sea monster with multiple heads that was mainly featured in the Old Testament, and just like the behemoth is said to be a beast of chaos and is also said to be killed by God. One excerpt saying, "In that day the Lord will take his sharp, great, and mighty sword, and bring judgment on Leviathan the fleeing serpent, Leviathan the coiling serpent, and he will slay the dragon of the sea." The Leviathan is probably the beginning of many sea monster stories that would come about as humans started to take to the water and explore the oceans. Famous ones include Sir Humphrey Gilbert's description of a sea creature with the head of a lion, the legendary Kraken, and the one we all know, the Loch Ness Monster. Number 4. Giants. Giants aren't just found hiding up beanstalks, and they are described many times within the pages of the Bible. One of the most famous probably being Goliath, who is slain by David. Samuel saying, "And there came out from the camp of the Philistines a champion named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. He had a helmet of bronze on his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coast was 5,000 shekels of bronze." There is in fact a whole race of giants mentioned who are called the Amorites, being brought up more than 80 times. "Yet it was I who destroyed the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars, and he was as strong as the oaks. Yet I destroyed his fruit above and his roots beneath. Also it was I who brought you up from the land of Egypt, and led you 40 years through the wilderness, to possess the land of the Amorite." If they were truly as tall as cedars, that would put them at around 50 to 100 feet tall. Number 3. Werewolves. I'll be clear here, the Bible does not ever refer to werewolves by name, but it does have plenty of imagery and stories that lend themselves to our current understanding of the creature. In the book of Daniel, we see God curse a man into becoming an animal, one of the most significant references to lycanthropy and transformation within the Bible. It says, "You shall be driven from men, and your dwelling will be with the beasts of the field, and you will eat grass as oxen, and will be wet with the dew of heaven. And 7 years will pass over you, till you know that the Most High rules the kingdom of men, and gives it to whoever he will." Werewolves have also been mentioned in times coming even before Christianity. This excerpt comes from a book written in the year 440 BCE. It may be that these people are wizards, for the Scythians and the Greeks settled in Scythia say that once a year every one of the Nuri becomes a wolf for a few days and changes back again to his former shape. Those who tell this tale do not convince me, but they tell it nonetheless and swear to its truth. Number 2. Daniel's 4 beasts. This next one is not one beast, but actually 4. In the book of Daniel, the prophet has a vision of 4 different beasts representing 4 empires. They all emerge from the sea, wreaking terror and destruction. But like many of the creatures before them, they die during their time on earth. They are described as follows. "And 4 great beasts came up out of the sea, different from one another. another. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. Then as I looked, its wings were plucked off, and it was lifted up from the ground and made to stand on 2 feet like a man, and the mind of a man was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second one like a bear. It was raised up on one side. It had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth, and it was told, "Arise, devour much flesh." And devour flesh they certainly did. The 4th beast is said to be the one that would devour the entire earth. Number 1. Unicorns. You probably don't think of unicorns as anything scary, just some fantastical horse with a horn on its head. But unicorns in the Bible are actually pretty terrifying. Similarly to werewolves, the unicorn isn't actually called by that name in the Bible, but the description has led most people to believe that that's what it is, and future translations do include the word unicorn. The quote goes as follows: "It's said to have the body of a bull and a single horn that is similar to an ox. Deuteronomy saying, a firstborn bull he has majesty, and his horns are the horns of a wild ox. With them he shall gore the peoples, all of them, to the ends of the earth. They are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh." So yeah, these guys were actually pretty mean. Their horn is not used for spreading the magic of friendship, but instead used for killing people.